Well, hello and welcome to the WOB Vacancy Board Review, your fortnightly editorial on what to look for on our best-in-class vacancy board. Today, we are speaking with Tass Mousaferiadis, Acting Chair of the Victorian Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commission. Good morning, Tass, and welcome.
Good morning, Claire, and thank you very much for having me this morning.
Okay, so what is the role and purpose of the Victorian Equal Opportunity and Human Rights Commission?
Thank you, Claire. Our vision, if I can start with that, is to create a fair, safe and inclusive Victoria. And we've got four key directions or sets of strategies that we work with to create that. Firstly, we try to embed a culture of human rights in all the work that we do. We focus on preventing inequality. We focus on eliminating racism and hate speech, and of course, promoting the rights of First Nations people. We are guided by four pieces of legislation. If I can rattle those off quickly off the top of my head: the Equal Opportunity Act, the Racial and Religious Tolerance Act, the Human Rights Charter Act, and our most recent addition was the Change and Suppression Act, I think of 2021. Largely our work's done in partnership with other organisations, so we very much try to collaborate with partners rather than going out there on our own. And our major approaches include education, information. We have a resolution service, a complaint service, an enforcement function. We monitor human rights right across the public sector spectrum and, of course, private sectors as well. And we conduct research, and we also have an advocacy function. So the sort of top 5 issues, and all of this is publicly available on our annual report, by the way, but actually disability, discrimination around disability, sexual harassment is number 2. These are sort of in order of volume rather than order of weight or importance. Race comes up as number 3. Political beliefs and activities is number 4, and industrial activity is number 5. And all that work that we do is ably led by a team of about 50 people, all of whom are incredibly passionate and committed to their work, and ably led by our Commissioner, Ro Allen, and their 2 senior executives.
Well, you've currently got a board position up with women on boards, and you are looking for a director. So can you highlight some of the main reasons someone would want to join the board of the Commission?
Well, I hope by giving you that little preamble, I've been able to demonstrate that the work that the Commission does is not only really important, but it's, I think, really, really interesting and very much designed to help make the world a better place that we live in. And if that's something that drives you, well, then I think you'd be very interested in putting your hand up for a role like this. It's a fabulous organisation. It's got an incredibly strong reputation. It's got a high-profile commissioner who's very well regarded in the field and in the community. The organisation is purpose-driven, and as I said earlier on, everybody that encounters or engages with the organisation just loves its work.
So what specific skills and attributes is the Commission seeking in applicants for this board role?
We are a board of 5 directors. One of those directors is retiring in a few weeks' time. And the truth is we're a relatively young board. We are seeking to appoint at least 2 directors, but we can appoint up to 3 because the Act enables us to have up to 7 directors. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but we are looking to recruit women. I'm not sure if I'm technically allowed to say that, but I have. That might just help some people to work out whether they should pursue this or not. We are very much looking to complement the skills that we have on the board at the moment. And in particular, if I can really finesse this, apart from all the usual governance skills and leadership skills, and I'll go through some attributes in a minute, we are very much looking for somebody with legal skill set, perhaps a bit of research and policy, and also finance, audit and risk. So they're the 2 groups of skills that we are specifically and explicitly recruiting for at the moment. In terms of attributes, a commitment to human rights would be a really good start. And hopefully candidates will be able to demonstrate some sort of alignment with our values, our vision, and the principles, and the way that we work, which is very much collaboratively, respectfully, a commitment to diversity and inclusion, and a commitment to ongoing learning.
And are you looking for people with a culturally diverse background, Tass?
Always. I would say that we are looking to have the most inclusive and diverse board that we can in Victoria.
Wow, and that's quite hard with 5 to 7.
Yeah. It means that we have to wear multiple hats.
Yeah, nice. So how are the applicants going to be assessed, and what should they expect once they put in an application?
Yeah, thank you. Always, it's useful to sort of get down to the nuts and bolts. Applications will be expressly assessed against the key selection criteria. So the key selection criteria aren't met, we probably won't pursue those applications any further. We will look for value add, we'll look for alignment, we'll look for complementing the existing board, we'll look for a diversity mix. So the last thing I want is to recruit 2 directors that look like me, for example. We're looking for somebody that's quite different, and as I said earlier on, women. We'll also conduct interviews with those candidates who have been shortlisted, and those candidates who will then make the short list will conduct referee checks. So the process from there involves the selection panel making a recommendation to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General then takes that recommendation to Cabinet, and if successful, the Governor in Council for appointment. Now, all of that, I think, might take about 3 months, but please don't hold me on that, because there are a whole lot of processes that are outside my control. And the other thing that I might just say, so that people are aware of this, is that once the application goes in, sometimes it can be a little bit quiet for quite some time. So it doesn't mean that it's all over, Red Rover. It just means that the machine is crunching away, so to speak.
Yeah, no, that's, I think, a classic feature of many government roles. So you're not alone in that. You're the acting chair. Can you just tell me how long you've been on the board, Tass?
Yeah, I've been on the board for just over a year. I was recruited to the board because of my particular interest in human rights and equality. It's something that has always underpinned my work, even in my public health work. And I have a background in governance, a background in public health policy and management and policy, I suppose, and all those things have come together, and somehow I've ended up as the acting chair, which I'm really enjoying and feeling incredibly grateful to have.
And one of the things that we were finding out when we chatted before we started the recording was, of course, you became aware of women on boards many years ago in some of your early work with Maxine Moran.
Correct. That was, 15 odd years ago? Maybe even before that, to be honest with you, because I always knew that there was a consultation process with women on boards. But I'd never actually engaged with women on boards as an organisation until you reached out this morning. So it's great to have this connection.
Well, thanks very much, Tass. Is there anything else that you would like to reiterate about the role today?
The 9th of June is the deadline. And just a couple of other points, for whatever it's worth. The committee or the board meets quarterly. It is remunerated, but don't give up your day job. Only a sitting fee, so to speak. And there are a couple of committees that support the board's work. There's a Finance Audit and Risk Committee and an Executive Remuneration Committee. I expect board directors to participate in those sorts of things, including some of the other organisational events and opportunities as well as they emerge. It's a great organisation, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you once again, Tass, for joining us today. It's been a complete pleasure to speak to you. A reminder to all our listeners that the Women on Boards Vacancy Board is open to our premium, classic and corporate members. If you are a subscriber and would like to join as a full member, please follow the links below. And remember, Women on Boards is a very inclusive professional network, and we would be delighted to have you on board with us today. Thank you.